So I, as awareness, is the reality which perceives the reality, which hears these words. That which perceives this moment is not something which appears and disappears. Experientially, I is this reality which perceives. Conceptually, I is someone who is born or something that exists, a mother, a father, a son, a daughter. Experientially, I is awareness. Conceptually, I is a man, a woman. A concept does not perceive. A feeling does not perceive. A sensation does not perceive. A memory does not perceive. An object, a form, does not perceive. Yet there is no denial that I perceive. But this I which perceives is not a thought, a memory, a sensation, a feeling, a storyline, a memory. No. That which perceives, whatever that is, has no outline. no shape. A fruit of a tree, the branch of the tree has a certain form and shape, a fig or an orange or a banana or a pineapple. Perceptions that the objects of perceptions have a shape and a form, and we label them conceptually, banana, pineapple. But the reality which hears right now, that which hears right now, which perceives right now, is undeniable. It has no shape or color or location. The eye which perceives has no form, no shape, no size, no limits, no edges, no location. Thus, it's referred to as the unborn, that which neither is born nor dies. The essence the ground of being. Thoughts appear to you. I perceive a thought. The only way to perceive the thought is to take on the form of a thought. Because perception is experiential. I perceive the thought as I take on the form of a thought. I perceive a sensation as I take on the form of a sensation. This reality is of infinite creativity, omnipotent, limitless potential. Not the I that you imagine yourself to be, not the image, not the memory, not the body, not the brain. But this non-phenomenal, transparent beingness. What the Buddhists refer to as our true nature. The Hindus refer to as Brahman. Takes on the form of this perception. That's what's called perceiving. Perceiving is not reality A perceiving object B or object A or object C. It's not a relationship between two realities. So out of itself, this infinite, invisible reality, the reality which perceives, out of its very self, it, as a way of speaking, morphs into a thought or a feeling, a sensation. And this morphing into a thought is creation and perception simultaneously, creation and perception. And this solution, because this reality doesn't hold on to anything, doesn't care, it's infinite creation. In ignorance, we give reality to the creation and we overlook the reality of the creator. We overlook the reality of the infinite, invisible. We give reality to that which is created, become fascinated. Which is fine as long as you understand experientially that there is one reality, one being, which is formless, invisible, borderless, limitless, and non-local. This so-called local perception appears to you. You are non-local. This limited perception appears to you. You are not limited. I titled this meeting, Thoughts Are Made Out of You. Because experientially, there are no thoughts out there that we catalog and pick and choose. Which thought we want to view right now. That is not the way it is. Experientially, awareness is infinite, invisible presence, beingness. It takes on the form of a thought or a perception. There are not two, being and perceiving are not two. And given that being is formless, and limitless, and non-local, similarly, the form that being takes, meaning thought, is equally formless, limitless, and non-local. Yet, reality likes to play. And creates distinctions, like the infinite colors of the rainbow, red and blue and yellow. Of course, they are just a reflection of the white light. And yet, in its creativity, distinctions arise, which gives a certain flavor, a certain nuance to the play. In the Indian tradition, there is the festival of colors, where people take onto the street and dash these powders of various bright colors onto everything, onto each other, onto the walls, onto a celebration of creativity, of distinctions, apparent distinctions, because all colors refer to the white light, to the colorlessness. Is no inherent color. Color is just a synoptic activity in the brain, the optical nerve. There's no color to an atom or a molecule or a gluon. So the distinctions in perception are the play of that which is beyond all color, beyond all distinctions. So it's all right to play the game of distinctions as long as you know being as being beyond all distinctions, experientially. So there are various thoughts, various sensations. But they are the dance of being, which is neither a thought nor a sensation. Their reality, their essence, is being, which is beyond form, beyond appearance, which is not an appearance, not a form. So if there are any questions, anything that you would like to explore, please make sure to unmute your mic, and you're welcome to turn on your video. Any questions? Hey, Holly, let's see, I think I'll mute you. Let me see how to do this as to mute, okay? Hey, Holly.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, good to see you.
Good to see you. So I noticed that anxiety is something that still comes up for me. You know, this thing that goes on in my head of, did I make the right decision? Am I making the right decision? Should I do this? Should I do that? Did I say the right thing? Did I say the wrong thing? And, you know, having done this for a while, you know, the non-duality sort of thing, you know, mostly I'm allowing, trying not to interfere too much with whatever the mind is saying and that sort of thing. I wonder if you have anything else to add.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're doing the right thing. I mean, there are habitual, you know, habits that are slow to die.
Right. Right.
They arise about doubt about ourselves. Did you make the right decision? How are we expressing ourselves? And to sort of not to get on that bandwagon and sort of ride it, you know, but to sort of notice it, because in making decisions, we're limited in how much we can comprehend, you know. Sometimes we don't have all the data, or we don't have the time to sort of, you know, really analyze things. And sometimes we're expected to sort of, you know, okay, you know, make a decision. So depending on the situation, there's so many different situations. So it's not always possible to make a decision or to express oneself from complete clarity. It's because the mind may not have all the information to come to clarity. So we do our best. I mean, we make a decision. I mean, somehow the deciding thoughts appears to us, okay, I'm going to go along with that decision, or I'm gonna share that point of view, you know. And I think what matters is that you notice whenever you're about to make a decision out of fear or out of the psychological me, when you're about to make a decision out of what's going to happen to me, or I need to get that, or else, then if you could, then take a pause right there. At those moments, you take a pause. Say, wait a minute, if possible, because the decision that you make out of the sense of separation is going to maintain the sense of separation in down the stream, down the line. So it's your intention. If your intention is to make the best decision possible for everybody involved, including you, your friends, your family, and the others, whatever, then that's you're starting from a good place. The rest just is flows from that intention. We can return to that intention. We can return to, okay, well, wait a minute. I'm stacking all the cards on my side. Wait a minute. Let me take another look at that. You can revisit your intention. But when the doubt arises to you, oh my God, did I make the right decision? It's possible that you realize, oh, gee, I made the decision stacking all the cards on my side. Okay, well, that's what happened. Okay, so you just notice that. You don't need to exacerbate the situation by adding negative judgments about yourself and making yourself like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not successful. I'm blah blah. You don't need to do that. But you can understand. Oh, wait a minute. That was a situation where I was not fair. I was not equitable to everybody. Fine. So next time, it may be different. Let the bygone be bygone. Of course, sometimes you can. A thought arises to you. Okay, maybe I can call these people and say, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry. How are you doing?" Okay, sometimes when you pick up the phone or you send a card, or you send an email, hey, look, how are you doing? Are you okay with the decision I made? Are you? So you could do that if you feel that you want to express that, not in order to become a better person, no, but
right.
It's because you realize, oh boy, I was not really fair to this person, that can be available to you, but all decisions are impersonal. They're all impersonal because there is no reality to a person. You imagine we're a person, but yet thoughts come to us, they appear to us, and the thought of fairness, of taking into account the other as myself also comes to us. It comes to us, wait a minute, this other person, they look not like me, they sound not like me, they not like me, but they are me. In essence, they're not different. Yeah. So what is that sound? What is the background sound? I'm wondering. Let me see.
It might be me. I'm outside. There's a little wind in the trees, and I can mute when I'm not talking though.
Okay. Maybe we could do that, right? Yeah. So whenever you refer to yourself as, is this thought that I'm having right now, would I have this thought? Would I have this thought right now if I did not assume myself to be holy, to be a person? So if you notice that the thought that you're having right now is based on the assumption that you are holy, that you're a person, that you're a woman, then there is something suspect about this thought. So the thought that arises to you, you can ask yourself, would this thought, would this what's appearing to me right now, this feeling, would it be on board if I was not as in the absence of assuming myself? And if the answer is yes, I'm not assuming. You see what I mean? Yeah, so the thought can appear to me, oh, darn, I was really screwball last week when I said this and that or did this and that. And then I ask myself, is this thought appearing to me? Would this thought appear to me if I was not assuming myself to be a person? It's a good question. And the answer may be, yeah, it's just, I'm not assuming myself to be a person. I really see that there was a decision that was hurtful to others. That's fine. I mean, we do things, that are hurtful to others unknowingly. I mean, because we're not, as a body mind, our perception, our understanding is limited. And sometimes we make a decision that later on realize, I wasn't aware that there was such a situation between those two people. I only was, I wasn't aware of that. But in general, and maybe I'm getting on a tangent here, but in general, is the non-judgment, not to judge, to be attentive to judgments. In general, as a general rule, it's a good direction. Whether you're judging yourself or another, in judging, you are separating yourself, of course, in an imaginary way, you're separating yourself because, in fact, you're not separate. Nothing is separate. And sometimes we don't like to face that we may have acted or done something out of a limited understanding or out of a sense of personal self. In those cases, we try to avoid. We don't like to stay there, so we project. We veil it. We deny. There are various processes by which we avoid. But I'm getting off your question. I think what you're doing, Holly, in terms of just noticing it, noticing the doubt about yourself. And it's valid because we're not a robot, we're performing exact mechanical functions, But there is doubt. I mean, did I understand correctly? Sometimes here in satsang, somebody asks a question and I notice I'm answering somewhere else. Like later I said, gee, wait a minute. I mean, did I, because so certain doubt. It's okay. It may even be connected to some humility, but not to create a good me or a bad me. You see what I mean? Like, oh, I'm making my own decision, I'm making people, not to make a me out of it, not to fix yourself, because then you create an image of yourself, which is not the reality of being. Right now, your reality is being, but you create an image, and then you start feeling. You start feeling, whatever. You start feeling the image, and thoughts about yourself, and then they get sticky. Yeah. There is a transparency to being. There's a transparency to presence. It doesn't hold on. It's not on a mission. It's a life unfolding in its various nuances, its various shapes and colors, and so many subtle ways of how life is appearing. Yeah. There's a flow in life. Is a flow. Some places are like white water, some other places it's just wide stream. It's just a flow. But being the essence of yourself, the essence of existence, is unmoved, untouched by its creation. The ocean and its waves, and the ocean creates the waves and the currents, but it remains the ocean. So you are this being, this presence, but the Satchit presence awareness, Satchitananda. And so that's your essence. And then life is the exploration, the creation, the celebration, the interactions, and it has a playful aspect to it. Everybody's there in the playground. Some don't know, or maybe most don't know they're in the playground, so they're very serious about it. Oh, it's my toy, What are you doing on my turf, But we're in the same sandbox. You say, oops, sorry, you're right, that's your part of the playground. But I'm here, you're welcome to visit for a cup of tea. So when we don't define ourselves, we are more open. So things that dissolve in the space. So then we're not a wounded person, or we're not somebody who has some problems I'm trying to resolve. It's more open, you see. And we deal with things. The body may have issues, so we deal with the body. The relationship may have issues, so we deal with the relationship. Our garden, our apartment, our house, our family may have some issues. We deal with them, but we remain presence, being. It's all of it is being. It's all our entire experience as being. Everything you perceive, everything you experience is seamless. It's all, there's no, it's one field of being. You're not in the Garden of Eden. You are the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden has no existence outside of you. I'm not talking outside of your own mind, outside of being. That's our experience, but it's veiled, our experience. I am the Garden of Eden is my creation. It's veiled by the belief that I'm sitting on a chair, I'm inside the cage, I'm a body-mind entity, you see. This belief and this feeling that I'm local, it veils that this feeling is appearing. It's just an appearance. It comes and says, yes, this feeling that I'm a person sitting on this chair, that is it. That's the proof. That's it. That's it. That's it. I am this person sitting. It's just a perception. It's a sensation. But we're also perceiving the breath. We're perceiving the sunlight. We're perceiving the sound of the birds. But we somehow we encapsulate certain feelings that we use to sort of reference this as this capsule as being what I am. So I am a capsule. And in a field which is not me. It's a conceptual law. When this concept is taken to become a belief, like what we believe, it has some unhappy consequences. So I, whenever you refer to I, you're not referring to something that you're perceiving. You're referring to the reality which perceives, the reality which is, which perceives. This reality knows it is and knows it perceives. So you go to that field of being, not a focal point. Defocalization of the point into its background, of the local into its background. How is Emma? Everything okay? Yes?
Yeah, she's doing well. We're
Okay.
good. The weather is nice here today, so
Yes.
we're enjoying the weekend. Yeah.
I know my nephew Dylan is out in Annandale where we used to live, and he's telling me about the heat and the yeah, well, the weather is what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
You went on a beautiful hike. I saw those photos. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
thank you. It
Wow.
was beautiful. It
Yes.
was beautiful.
Yes.
Everywhere you looked, something was beautiful.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was really
Yeah.
very special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminded me of a trip I did in the 80s, I think. I went for a 7-day wilderness hike, on the John Muir Trail on the west
Ah,
coast. So it reminded me of that. Some of these really high
yeah.
lakes, which are like a molten snow. So beautiful.
Yeah.
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 Right.
It was nice. We went last year too, and it was also beautiful, but there was smoke from the forest fires last year.
Right.
So
Right.
this year, we were there in wildflower season and
Oh,
no
wow.
fires.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw the pictures. Very, very lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, give our best to Emma.
Yes. Yes. Hello, Tara, wherever. Sure, she's around somewhere.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. Yeah. Oops, we start saying hi, Holly. Any questions? Hello, Holger.
Hi, Magdi. Just a spontaneous question. So it's a belief that creates the suffering, the limitation.
Yes, yes. The belief that I am separate and mortal, that I, meaning that consciousness, that being is personal, is limited, is born, and will die and has to survive. Yeah, it's a belief. And this belief, because we are like a sponge-like, we sort of absorb this belief in our cells, in our muscles, in our sensory system, in our nervous system. So it's a belief and a feeling. Belief is...
But for consciousness, everything is possible.
Yes, actually, nothing is impossible. I mean, consciousness as meaning being in the one reality is even to talk of possibility is a limitation. It's yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So this is why it's important to remain open, not to come to, even in our understanding, not to sort of, to sort of be open even for our understanding to sort of be this infinite potential, because understanding and being is not two. So being is infinite. The omnipotence. Is omni create and omni creativity, infinite potential. Yes, yes. And if you contemplate is anything like hearing the song of a bird, that in itself is so amazing.
And so then even making sense is a limitation, can be a limitation.
There is a difference between making sense and understanding.
Yeah.
When we are making sense, we're still conceptually trying to sort of bring the pieces together. We're in the reasoning process, and trying to make sense, or let me put it another way, the interest in understanding. So we're exploring, we're questioning, we're comparing, we're in the process of investigation. So we're trying to make sense, as a way of speaking. So that process at some point leads to understanding. So there's a difference between the activities that surround understanding and understanding itself. Understanding it's magical. It's a glimpse into the absolute, and it could be a glimpse about the absolute itself, or a glimpse about the creation of the absolute, about the creativity of the absolute. So there can be an understanding about the galactic field. Somehow is a study, investigation, and there is some understanding. The light that I'm perceiving right now in the sky is actually a star that has exploded 20,000 light years ago. Yeah, so understanding. So it could be a glimpse into, not into reality itself, not into the absolute itself, but into the phenomenal creation of the absolute. Or there could be a glimpse, understanding about consciousness itself, about reality itself. That consciousness is real. Consciousness is limitless, no limits to it. Consciousness is non-local. And it's the reality of all phenomena, you see. So these would be understandings about consciousness. There is a process which you can call the process of trying to figure it out, or something like that, of a process of thinking, of logical application of logic, the application of reasoning.
So in a way, it's a little bit like taking off a Band-Aid. I mean, you can either do it slowly or just quickly. This doesn't make too much sense.
Whichever way God wishes to do it, again, using the religious lingo, whichever way. So, yeah, it could be both, either or both. In fact, in terms of the understanding, there is a gradual understanding and a sudden understanding. As a way of speaking, sometimes we speak of gradual understanding and a sudden understanding. But understanding is neither gradual nor sudden, because there's no possible description of understanding. We speak about the understanding in terms of, after the understanding, the mind has been altered by the understanding and reflects, it speaks to its impact. It speaks to the transformative impact of the understanding upon the mind. Now, Francis often talks about, like, when you have a headache and you take aspirin or a Tylenol, at some point you realize, oh, I don't have the headache anymore, but you don't know exactly when did the headache disappear. You could say, well, it's a gradual understanding, Or you can put your hand in the fire and immediately feel the burning sensation, and you remove your hand right away. With sudden understanding. But the understanding itself, whether it's sudden or gradual, is the same whisper. In some spiritual circles, we make a big thing out of Kensho or out of Satori, out of this explosive, sudden understanding, enlightenment or whatever, ways we speak of it. Although there may be certain glimpses that have that quality, the understanding about consciousness it's our natural state. Our true nature is this borderless presence, this being, impersonal being. It's not such a big deal, It appears to be a big deal when you are closed in a cell, in a 4x4 cell. Of course, it's a big deal to step out. But when you step out of the cell, just somebody opens the door and you walk 6 feet or 4 feet or 2 feet. It's always been the space, the prairie surrounding the cell has always been there, and the cell. So it's a cell, The cell is, like you were saying, you asked a minute earlier, it's this belief and feeling that, so yes, when you open the door of the cell, if you've been in the cell forever, my God, it's very explosive, it's like pulling the Band-Aid, but in another way, every day you go out in the courtyard, you walk, you have a 1 hour or half hour walk in the courtyard, you see the sky, you realize, oh, wait a minute, these are walls and the sky is infinite. When they open the door of the cell and say, you're a free man now, okay, it's a little difference, of course, but it's just as a metaphor, it's okay, no. I like the gentle removal of the Band-Aid, but I'm also quite familiar with the. I come from the Zen tradition, so. Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Magdi. gratitude.
Yes. Any questions? Okay, well, thank you all. Very lovely to be with you all. Holly, Holger, George, Jeff, Frank, Mark, and Aitahita. Thank you all.
Thanks, Magdi.
Thank you.
Thank you.